Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Dear brothers and sisters, young brothers and sisters, all brothers and sisters of all ages, on behalf of Islamic Circle of North America and Muslim American Society, I welcome you to this conference. On behalf of young Muslims, I welcome you to this conference. And alhamdulillah, I see that this is the first session, and alhamdulillah, the hall is packed. So, and many of you who have been to the registration area, you probably saw that there are many more Muslims, brothers and sisters are inshallah on their way, and they'll be soon joining us in these programs. So I hope, inshallah, YM will make more room, inshallah, for tonight's programs and tomorrow's programs. When we, as Ahmed was talking about the process of selecting a theme, the whole process of selecting a location and where are we going to hold a convention and what kind of arrangements are needed to gather such a huge gathering of Muslims, it takes a lot of efforts, my brothers and sisters. And almost all of this work is done by volunteers. ICNA has, mashallah, a lot of members, brothers and sisters who are volunteers, workers. And when we started to plan the convention, I was estimating that about at least a minimum of 500 and more volunteers are needed to hold such a gathering. And they are all doing it for the sake and pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as Ahmed was leading us to. That what is my purpose of life? What is our purpose of life? Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created us? What am I supposed to do in this world? What are the reasons for my existence? Am I to benefit myself or am I to benefit people that I touch, people that I meet, people that I greet? Where do I fall in this big picture that I may be a very tiny person in this life, in this world? But I have a reason, I have a purpose, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created me for a reason and for a purpose. So seeking that reason, seeking that person, that passion, and where YM brothers and sisters, putting even the last weeks of their exams, and they're still putting time sitting in the conference calls trying to figure out the exact topic, which makes the program committee worried as well, that why are they changing topics in the last phase? But they are doing all of it, and there must be a reason behind it. They're not doing it because there's some monetary gain. They're not doing it because they want to please somebody. They're not doing it because they are looking forward to some higher positions, but they are doing it for the sake and pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and nothing else. And they are doing it so that they can find their own purpose and mission in their life, and they are able to help other young brothers and sisters to help them find their purpose and mission in life. And these conferences are for that purpose, my brothers and sisters. These conferences are, yes, they are social gatherings. Yes, we bring so many brothers and sisters who can meet and greet one another. Yes, these conferences provide an opportunity for friends who have not seen each other for months or for years. They can come and meet and greet themselves as well. But the basic purpose, my brothers and sisters, is that we are holding, if I ask you how many sessions we have in this convention, I don't know if someone has counted or not, but I sat today and counted. We have 90 sessions in these 2.5 days, and 209 presentations by scholars. So all of this is done so that we benefit ourselves. We bring all of these brothers and sisters, scholars and motivators and experts from their field so that we can learn from them. And the learning is the most important part of this conference and this gathering. If we are coming here and sitting here, enjoying the gathering, enjoying the bazaar, but we are not learning, then a major portion of our purpose is missing. And on top of that, we would also like you that when you leave the convention, you're very clear about your purpose, you're very clear about your mission in life, and inshallah you will become active in YM. I see many of our parents sitting here as well. Become active in ICNA, become active in Islamic work wherever you are. And that is what we would like to achieve from your presence here. And I will leave it with a couple of thoughts for my young brothers and sisters and for all of us. That there's a dua that is taught by our beloved Prophet ﷺ, that when we look at the mirror, there's a dua. Where Nabi ﷺ taught us that you say, Alhamdulillah, Allahumma kama hasanta khalqi fahassin khuluqi, which is translated as that, oh Allah, you have created me beautiful from outside and make my inner self beautiful as well. And when you think about it, you are recognizing the creation of ourselves. I am recognizing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created me in this fashion. And I'm thanking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this. I'm not complaining to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that why my hair color is different, or why I have to wear glasses, or why I'm short, or why I'm tall, and why I'm big, or why I'm skinny, and why is my color like this, and why my eye color is this. This is not about that. It is looking in the mirror and recognizing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created me and He is the best of the creators and He has created me beautiful. And then you are asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, make my morals beautiful. And that is really, my brothers and sisters, what leaves when we leave this world. Yesterday in our masjid, in our community at Adam Center, there were 3 janazas. And they were from all different ages. A young mother, and then 2, another mother and another father. 3 janazas one day in one masjid. But you know what people were talking? People were not talking about how they looked, how handsome they were, or how beautiful they were. They were all talking about that they were good people. They loved their family. They cared for their family. They provided for their family, or they were loving and caring, and all of these things, all of the characteristics and morals that we must all have. So when we leave, nobody is going to talk about how a person looked. Yusuf alayhi salam was created the most beautiful, the most handsome. But his beauty put him in trouble behind bars. And what liberated him from that was his knowledge and his character. And I leave you with a beautiful story, not the whole, but about a companion of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. His name was Julaybib. 0 minute left. His name was Julaybib. Many of you probably have heard the story. It was said that he was not a beautiful man, as rather it is written that he was not pleased to look at. He had physical deformity. But he was a Muslim, nobody knew his parents. But when Julaybib showed his faith, when Julaybib submitted to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and loved his Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and when Julaybib served his community and passed away as a shaheed, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself carried him, buried him, and said that I am from him and he is from me. My brothers and sisters, that is what the life is all about. And I leave you all with this, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless all of us, our families, and we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us tawfiq to follow the commandments of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the sunnah of our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.